Yes. Or a crime that an electronic device is used to commit the crime. Or a crime that the proceeds of the crime is stored in an electronic device. So, summarily, a crime that an electronic device is the target, or an electronic device aids the crime, or the proceeds is stored on an electronic device. Is that clear enough, please? Okay, great. So that is what cyber crime is. There's a lot of robust other definitions you can find, but you can simply get your full mark when you try to explain what this is in this manner. So we are trying to break down this digital evidence. So evidences are now, we are not talking of digital evidences. Evidences of a cyber crime are what we are talking about. That means digital forensics is the process of identifying, preserving, analyzing, and presenting digital evidences in a legally acceptable manner. Legally acceptable manner. I used to say that every digital forensic investigator, or whatever you do as a digital forensic investigator, you should be thinking of ending in court. So when you have that in mind, you will be able to follow these processes very well. Now let's look at some few primary use cases of digital forensics where we can use this. We can use it to do cybercrime investigation, just like I had mentioned. You can also use it for corporate security incidents. You want to prove to management that this computer you kept, this is what you did, or this is what you did not do. You can also do those investigations and use it. Or there's an argument between two staff where staff A is saying that I did this, I did not do this, or this. You can also come and look into it, and so that also ends in I don't know if it's HR that does that in your firm, or it ends in management. So also law enforcement and military. There are some police, senior police officers that are also taking this course as we speak, digital forensic with us. So you use this a lot. So you also use this for fraud and insider threats. This is very common in big organizations, especially like the financial sector, where you look at fraud and incident threats. You see that they take. In fact, there's no crime, no cyber crime. What do you think cybersecurity people do? They try to prove that something happened, the person and how it happened and who did it. That's all cybersecurity tries to prove. When there's an incident, you try to prove that this incident happened. You also try to prove how it happened and who committed the crime. And you realize that every cybersecurity expert has digital forensics as his core. Yes. So now, let's see some key investigative objectives. We had laid good emphasis on it at the beginning. Now you need to identify. First, you need to identify. So when you get to a crime scene, you identify digital evidences. You are not looking for gun. You are not looking for screwdriver. You are looking for digital, anything that can produce digital evidence. That is what you are after as a digital forensic examiner. You are not going to look for, you are not looking for prints. Those ones, they are for the forensics people, not for you. Except that can now link to, you can have link. But what you are looking for is, you are trying to identify digital evidences. That's what you are trying to identify. So, in the first key investigative objective for any digital person is to first of all discover exactly what transpired during the incident. So they cannot say two people are fighting on the street. They will now invite a digital forensic person to come and do that. No, like two boys, two Agbiru fighting. They are fighting on the road. They will not say, let them bring a digital forensic. No, that's not your job. That's not your job. Now, second thing you will look out for is to determine. You have to determine what really happened. So you have to uncover the methodology used by the actor. You are sure that okay, this is a cyber crime scene. Then, what are the methodologies used by the actors? Now, there's a law we call the Locard principle. Locard principle. The Locard principle. It states this, I'll paraphrase. It's a kind of physics. Those who did physics can relate with what I'm about to say. Now, the law states that when two bodies comes together, that's body A and body B. When they come together, body A lives with part of body B, and body B lives with part of body A. So that's where you hear that when you watch all these ID, investigative discovery channels, you hear that they say there's a 1001 evidence left in a crime scene. So when you get to a crime scene, there are evidence staring at you, shouting, "See me, see me, see me, I'm evidence." But you now need to you need to be very careful to identify those evidences. You need to be careful because there are methodologies to use in these things. So you need to be careful to be able to identify them so that you don't even contaminate them. You see, digital forensics investigators are one of the very good fields to go into, and also one of the very dangerous fields to go into. Before you know it, you may become the culprit if you are not careful handling evidence. So that principle, that local principle, states that when body A and body B comes together, body A lives with part of body B, and body B lives with part of body A. So anytime there's an incident, there's always evidence. Anytime there's an incident, literally you find 1001 evidence staring. Now it's for you to be able to identify them. Then there's what we call reconstruct. That's identify it, preserve it, then investigate it. In that investigation, you should be able to reconstruct it, to say, okay, this is how it happened. I don't know if you are getting it. You should be able to do so. This is how it happened. This is the first place he came, then the next place, then the next place, then this is how he arrived at this. You should be able to reconstruct it. Because the people you may be talking to may not even understand technology. Like if you go to court now, recently, maybe last week, I saw that the MBAs are trying to partner with, somebody to be able to, understand some of these digital forensics we are talking about. So your objective, investigation objective, second is for you to be able to determine what really happened. How did the person did it? How did the actor or actors, how did they go about it? Then the third one is attribution. You should be able to identify who did what. You should be able to identify who is responsible for this. You will never hear any breach announced without stating the actors. You must hear that. If you are conversant with the media in recent time in Nigeria, we had a lot of cases. I would not like to mention them, but you will always hear that they say, "Oh, this is the person that did this," or "This is the group that did this," or "This is the body." It must always be attributed to somebody. If not so, you have not been able to do your job very well. Then next again is timeline. I said before, you must be able to reconstruct the event and say, as at time A, this is what happened, or time B, this is what happened, time C. So you must be able to establish a verified chronological order of events. You just don't wake up and say things from your head. You must be able to, first of all, identify, determine, then you must be able to attribute the incident to somebody or an actor or some people. Then you must now be able to establish timelines. Then this must be legally admissible. If this is not legally admissible, you have only wasted your time. So you have to ensure that evidence is formatted and preserved correctly for preservation in court of law. You must do that in case the thing gets to court. Now, you may just be doing an investigation in the office, and probably the person now decides to bring up a legal issue, and then you have to go to court. The organization is going to come. Maybe after you finish, let's say, okay, you as an investigator, you did something. As a digital forensic person in your organization, you try to uncover a crime, you were successful, then the threat actor involved was fired. The person can now go and bring up labor laws and say maybe he can bring up anything and go to court, and So your evidences have to be admissible in court. If not so, you have only wasted your time. So now let's look at, there are some key forensic specialization. You see, cybersecurity is very robust, very large. In fact, last year I was in a convention trying to talk to some persons, some young ones coming into the field. And some of them were discouraged at a point to say, cybersecurity is very broad, is this one, is that one. When they started talking, they now say there's SOC analysts, there's digital forensic, there's ethical hackers, they mention a lot of roles. So I now started telling them that those roles have sub-roles and some functions in them. And you see, for digital forensics now, we have some specializations in digital forensics. First, we have what we call computer forensics. There's computer forensics, where you deal with laptops, desktop, server, and you are focusing on file recovery and system artifacts. So you need to understand operating systems, how files are being stored, how files are being retrieved. You need to understand them when it comes to computer forensics. You need to understand operating systems. At least you need to know that there are Windows, there are Linux-based operating systems. You need to understand how these things, how they work, how they save their files, how you retrieve files, how deleted files, how they work, and you need to understand that. So I think it's in this slide, but I will give my first take-home, my first assignment for you is try to make research on how deleted files work, how deletes work on Windows and how deletes work on Linux. Do you understand what I'm saying? I want to get reactions if you understand what I'm saying. I need you to research how deleted files or how deletes work generally on the system, on both Windows and on both Linux. Are we together? I need reactions if okay. So I need you to make research how when you delete something, how does that operation work? I need you to understand that while you are doing that research, you will realize that you hear things like eraser, you hear things like format, you hear something. So it will also broaden your knowledge. So the second specialization I actually mentioned like 5 of them. The second one is network forensics. Now, as a digital forensics person, there are things that happen on the network. Now, cybersecurity generally protects data at rest, data on transit, and data in process. That's the data that you stored on your hard drive. Cybersecurity protects it. The data that you are sending, as you are sending it somewhere, cybersecurity also protects it. And as the data is being processed, maybe you open it, you are doing something, you are processing it, cybersecurity also protects it. So, an aspect of you sending the data on a network is what digital forensics or network forensics also protects. So you can now do forensic analysis and say, oh, this data was sent from point A to point B over this particular network, and this. So network forensics, that's what you do is you monitor and analyze traffic to detect data exfiltration and intrusion patterns. That's what you do for network forensics. So there are some advanced domains. Now, with the advent of AI, a lot of things are coming up, and maybe in our last module, we'll look at that and see how that can come in. So there are what we call memory forensics, where you analyze RAM. And that brings us to volatility. Now, okay, let me just leave that. Okay, well, when you get to a crime scene, a cyber crime scene, there's what we call volatility of data. Volatility of data means the order in which you acquire your data, your evidences. There are some that are temporal. At least you know that data on RAM is temporal. When the computer goes off, your data on RAM goes away. Unlike the one you stored on your flash or you stored on your hard drive. So you will first of all go for data on RAM or data on the cache, things that you know that when power is lost or when the computer goes off, you can't find them, you can't easily find them again. So you go there. So that's where volatility of data comes in. So there's what we talk about database forensics also. I am also a database administrator. I'm also a database forensics. Yes, I forgot to mention at my introduction that I am a digital forensics examiner, a certified digital forensics examiner. I'm also a certified computer user. I'm also a database administrator and a database security administrator. So I understand when it comes to database investigations, I know a bit in it. So also there's what we call cloud forensics. Now, we are all selling, we are talking about cloud, moving things to cloud, and so there's what we call cloud forensics also. So that's also something to note about. Then there's mobile forensics. This is one of the core, this is one of the, almost our mobile forensics are like, our mobile devices are like 3 times our desktop computers or servers. They are like 3 times. So the market there is more. It's just in this part of the world, paying for those services are heavy. You hear people say, I want you to help me do this. But when you tell them the cost of these things, they may not be able to provide them. So in mobile forensic, we try to extract deep data from phone and tablets, including encrypted WhatsApp chats, SMS, and detailed location call logs. There are tools that does this, but I'm trying to build our mind towards not tools alone, but to think like one. So moving forward, please confirm you can still hear me. My screen is still visible. Please confirm that. Okay, please, if you have a question, let me take 1 or 2 questions at this junction before we move. We have talked a lot. Okay, your hand is raised. Anselm, please unmute yourself and let's hear your question.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for the explanation on how forensics work. One of my questions I wanted to ask is I notice most times when we talk about OS, is mostly Linux and Windows. I've not really seen courses around Mac OS. So I don't know if Mac OS is part of most of the things we will be analyzing in forensics. Because for me, I'm a Mac user. Most times, I find it hard to get some of the software for cybersecurity. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So a quick one, you see, the market tends to drive towards open source. When I say open source, something that something that has support, public support, something that has, that they can also talk about security. So you see, being a Mac user gives you some, gives a restriction. You easily find things on Windows, even more than Linux. It's now that Linux is also gaining ground because Linux has integrated GUI, graphics user interface. Before now, it's only CLI you see for Linux. But now, you see that Linux is also gaining ground because of the processing power it has. But you usually find things on Windows operating because they are graphics user interface. They are very beautiful. In short, if you take sample from this class, you will realize that 9 of 10 persons uses Windows. The 1 person will either be Linux or Mac. And I can tell you that 90% of that 1 person is always Linux, not even Mac. So it's a global challenge. It's a global challenge. Not just because even if you look out online to see courses for Mac, they are very rare, and that's because of their closed nature. They put more of security in place. They are thinking more of security. Now, let me quickly chip in this as a bonus conversation. If you are a developer, you are trying to develop a tool. Abdul, I'll still come to you now. I saw your answer was raised. I'll come back to you. Now, if you are a developer, picture any tools you see online, any tools, operating system, either application software or operating system software that you see online. There are 3 things that they put into consideration in building them. 3 core things. There may be more, but 3 core things. Put it in a triangle. On the left base of the triangle is functionalities. The right-hand side is user-friendliness. The top is security. So if you put a circle inside this, you will realize that if you shift the circle or the ball towards user-friendliness, you see that you are going away from the 2 other edges. So you try to make a balance. But for Mac, they are more concerned about security. So the ball is towards security. So the user-friendliness and functionalities are not the core for them. So I think that's where the challenge comes in. But we'll find a way around it. We will overcome as we go by it. I don't know if that gives light to your question, Aslan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So Abdul, your hand was raised. Any other person? You have Any other questions?
No, sir, that was the question I was just about to ask. He mentioned it earlier.
Okay, for Mac users, right? It's all right. Thank you.
Yes,
So
sir.
now let's look at the forensic process life cycle. There's a life cycle for digital forensics. There's a life cycle. If you don't follow this life cycle, you may just be playing. If you don't follow this life cycle, we had mentioned the four key process of digital forensics, but now we are looking at a process that involves in it. You will see where it's been added. You see it. Now, first you have to first of all identification. That's the first thing, is to identify. That means you detect potential source of evidence. Oh, I saw a flash in the crime scene. Definitely, you know that that is a potential source of evidence. There's a computer, there's an hard drive, there's a camera, there's an alarm system, there's a biometric reader, the door has biometric reader, biometric access control. Anything you first of all, so you need to identify that this is a source of digital evidence. Then two, you now see how to preserve it. Now you picked a flash from a crime scene. You don't pick it with bare hands. You need to glove your hands, pick it and label it appropriately. In short, before picking it, you need to take images to snap it to be sure that it's picked from the evidence. Because all these things, you need to do anything that will make them believe in court that you got that evidence from that place. Let me put it that way. You need to do everything that is possible to make them believe in court that these evidences were acquired from the crime scene. Then when you pick that, you now need to collect the evidence. Now you have seen a flash, you identify that, you have identified that this flash can be a source of evidence. Then you now try to preserve it. Then you now collect the evidence. Now, the flash itself is not the evidence, because the flash itself is not a digital evidence. We are looking for digital evidence. We are not looking for hardware. It's the evidence we are looking for. So now you now have to collect it, and this is where it's very key. I need to state this at this point. Please don't work directly on your evidence. You need to clone your evidence before you work on it. So you have a flash, you need to clone it. By tomorrow or next, we will be cloning. We'll see how we can clone that. So you need to clone it. You don't work directly on your evidence, because you will contaminate it, and then you don't have a case again, or you become the case. So you need to know how to collect that. Sorry, I'm seeing the screen. Can anyone see my screen? Yes. Maybe you should just exit and come again, please. I think that's Adebayo also. So if you cannot see my screen, please exit and come again. You will be able to see my screen. If you minimize and return, take a while. I'm not minimizing, but try. Okay, just try and exit and come. Okay, so the next process is examination. Now you have this evidence. You now try to extract relevant artifacts. You now try to extract the evidence. What you want to use to present, you need to extract it that you present in court. You need to extract it. Then these are technical terms, or these are technical, or they are digital evidences. You now need to interpret it in such a way that the court will be able to understand what you're talking about. That's where analysis comes in. Then you now try to present it as a testimony and a report, depending on where it is being done. Please, do you understand this life cycle is very important? Yes, ma'am. Please unmute and go ahead, ma'am. Your mic is on mute in case you are speaking, Dr. Ma. Doc Ma, in case you are speaking, I'm not hearing you. In case you are speaking, ma, I can't hear you, ma'am. Okay, I can hear you now. You're getting through.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say, sorry I'm driving, but
okay, no problem.
on hand stream. What I'm like the scenario you just painted,
Yes.
painted.
Yes, ma'am.
It looks as if, from identification, it looks as if you, the investigator, is the person directly in charge. You know, like you're there when it happened.
Okay, no.
Because most times you may not be there when it happened. They will just call you that, okay, see what we gathered. We're able to get this and this and this. See what happened. See what we want you to investigate. I don't know, is
Exactly.
this how it is done?
They are,
Or must you be the one, you the investigator, must you be the one to be there? Because something might happen and you're not
not
there
there.
at that point in time when it's happening or where it happened. So I
Exactly,
want
ma'am.
to just throw more light on this, please.
Okay, ma'am. So these are two different scenarios. I can bring a flash for you now. It's common. It's common. I bring a flash and say, please, I want you to help me recover deleted data. You are doing digital forensics for the person. Or I can bring a flash and say, oh, please, I found this flash in my car park. What is happening? Help me check what is inside. I don't want to just put it in my distance. It's done that way. Or you could be in a, like if you are in the military or you are in the police, you could be in the what they call it, CIB they call them. You could be in a unit that is required to go out into a crime scene and you have to identify these things. Or they can just take you into evidence, into evidence and say, okay, these are the evidences we got from there. These are the digital evidences, analyze it. So these are two different case scenarios. It could go either way. It could be your unit. You may not, like, let's say you are not a security person in your office. They say something happened, and they can carry the computer and bring to you, or they say, okay, come. When you get to the person's desk or the person's office, and there's camera, you also take notes. I like to get the feeds from this camera. You also take notes if there is biometric access control in the room. You also take notes. I like to get to the database of this. I like to see the computers that are available, the routers that are there, the switches that are there. You have to confiscate all these things and do that. But if these things are done by another unit and brought for you, it's also another ballgame entirely. So before they bring it, it's already labeled. So you will now say, okay, these things that are labeled, you now start, that's where your own preservation comes in. You are going, now, they brought it because they have been able to identify that there are digital evidences on these things. Then you will now preserve, you collect, you examine, you analyze, then you give them back your reports. Based on A, B, C, that is clearly seen, no assumption. You don't assume anything. Based on evidence A, this is what my conclusions are. Based on evidence B, this is my conclusion. Based on evidence C, this is my conclusion. I don't know if that's answer your questions.
It's okay. Thank you. It's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Okay, any other question? Okay. Mike, okay, go ahead. Go ahead, please. Unmute your mic.
Oh, okay. From the explanation you've been giving so far, I can't help but think that in a case whereby you have bogus data, you have data, maybe you're doing auditing in a way, and you have data worth 15 years, you have data worth um maybe 20 years. That's a whole lot of data. Have there been any model of AI that has been given or that has been made to make this analyzing of data easier? Or let me say better still, what's the future of digital forensics,
And
when
AI.
forensics with AI analyzing
Okay.
the data?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this question. I'll give a personal scenario. Last year, February, I was invited into a project. Now, you see, let me say this clearly here. There are tools, open source tools. There are things that open source tools can do for you for free. But they may not be able to process large volume of data for you. So this scenario opened up my eyes to it in February. I was brought into a project to just, in short, the things to be done are things that you can do in 3 minutes. But we have over 20,000 servers to work on. I am not missing words. Over 20,000 servers What do they want us to do? Just get us the configuration. Maybe I won't share the script in the class. Get us the configuration of these servers. What is the RAM? What is the MAPE? What is the processing power? What is the operating system on it? What are the softwares installed on it? What version of the software is installed? Are there updates? You see, these things are things you can do within 3 minutes in a computer. But you have over 20,000 servers to analyze. That's where paid tools comes in. Because maybe the open source tools you want to use can just do for you. Maybe at max, they can do for 50. Do you understand that? So you will need to go for paid tools that can do that. Now, when it comes to some of these tools we'll be exploring today, they are already integrating AI into them. Now, why you started your question, two things came to my mind. I was speaking in an event last week, and I told them that I was talking to a senior friend. There are two things my part now is studying cybersecurity in artificial intelligence. Then artificial intelligence in cybersecurity. You know, there are two things. That's how do you secure AI? That's one. Then how do you now use AI in cybersecurity? There are two different things. If you check me up on LinkedIn, you see that for the past 3-4 months, I've been talking of artificial intelligence. It's just recently I broke into, because of this training, I started talking about digital forensics. Artificial intelligence is the in thing. So every tool, in short, if you see a clapping tool now, a tool that is clapping, they'll say is AI. There's AI in the tool. If you see a tool that is singing, they'll say there's AI. And everybody now is integrating AI into their system. So that's one beautiful thing about it. So there are a lot of tons of tools that is integrating AI into it. Like Beckersoft is a paid tool. They are integrating AI into their tools now. Beckersoft, yes, is a paid tool. They are integrating AI. In short, most tools, not only in digital forensics, not only in cybersecurity, they are integrating AI into it. So yes, there are a lot of them that are doing that. I don't know if that answer your question, please, Micah. Oh, okay, great. So now let's look at some key things, some key terminology in digital forensics. And this is this is a very key one, chain of custody. See, if you cannot prove when and where for your case or about an evidence, you don't have an evidence. I state it again. If you cannot prove the who, that's who handled this evidence, that's you have acquired this evidence. So this evidence came to your table, and after your table, another team member needs to do this. Who and what is the duration? It stayed with you. Then what are the things you perform? What are the operations you perform on it? You must be able to account for it. So there's the who, there's the when, and there's the where question that need to be answered in your line of performing your duties. You must be able to answer this every time. Every time. No time, in short, your opponent or your other legal counsel will be looking for that break where you did not account for in your documentation. So chain of custody is very, very, very important. And what does it help you to do? It helps you to preserve integrity and gives accountability for whatever evidence you are trying to give. So integrity and accountability is very core when it comes to chain of custody. So a chronological documented record that maintains a paper trail of evidence handling, stating who, when, and where these evidences pass through. This will only be admissible in court if you are able to prove these three things. So chain of custody is very important. You don't just take evidence and just assume. You must document it. I mean, you don't do the documentation after you are finished. This evidence came to me this exact time, 4:05, so milliseconds. You document it, and this is what you perform. This is the process you perform on it. This is what next you do. Our core answer today is hashing. We'll see how to get this, how to see data of data, metadata. We'll get to it shortly. Shortly we'll get to it. So you must be able to understand chain of custody in that. So now let's talk about hashing and verification. Please, is there a question from the previous slide? Is there any question from the previous slide? No, no question. Thank you. So now we need to understand hashing. Hashing is used for verification. We need to understand hashing. If you get your evidence, first you need to get the hash of this evidence. Then what does hashing mean? If there's a change in that evidence, if anything is altered, the hash too will be altered. So the only way you can prove in court that I didn't tamper with the evidence is to provide a hash before you perform your analysis on the evidence and after you perform your analysis on the evidence. The hash must remain the same. That's the only way in court that you can prove that this evidence was never tampered with. Now, hashes ensure that the digital evidence has not been altered during your investigative process. And the common algorithm, you need to look at some of these algorithms. Maybe you need to read them up as part of your added knowledge. There's MD5, there's SHA-1, there's SHA-256. These are the commonly used ones. There are a lot of other ones. So an example of verification is you have a file, you hash it, it gives you ABC123. That's the hash. Then at the end, you also come back, get that file, hash it again. You will still find that if the thing is the same, then that means the evidence was not tampered with. That. So if the hash matches after analysis, integrity is maintained. Even if a bit changes, even if it's one bit rather, change result in a result will completely also change. We'll see that in our practical class today. Now, I had also mentioned in a bit volatility of data and non-volatility. Now, volatility of data, like I had explained before, is how long can a data stay in a particular evidence, in a particular drive or a particular storage, So you start looking at, just like I mentioned, you have RAM as a type of memory, you have hard disks too. So hard disk has permanent storage, but RAM has temporary storage. So you will go for things on RAM first, because when you talk on RAM, you will when you talk of power, when power goes off, data on RAM also goes off. So you acquire those things early. So you see things like persistency. Now you see that for RAM, when power goes off, it goes off. But for hard disks, please come in. Open, please. Okay. Yeah, okay. So, but for RAM, for hard disks, it can be stored. Then also you see that for RAM, it behaves the way there's rapid change. It changes as the operations. As you are operating on it changes. But for hard disks, it's fixed and it's stored. Then for priority, I also mentioned for collection priority, I mentioned that you should go for RAM has high order of priority. Go for it first before you go for hard disks. So in 2 minutes, I will share another link where we'll join this class again. The Zoom I wanted to use, the network is not too okay, and I think Google Meet is easily accessible by everyone. So let's just take questions for the next 1 minute while I share a new link for the meeting. Is there any question, or if there's contribution? Let me take contribution from you. If there are none, I'll just is there a question or contribution from anyone so that we can take that quickly? But if there's none, I will just... Okay, so I'm sharing the new link in the WhatsApp group, please. Okay. Mr. Livinus, I'm not even seeing you in this class. Oh. Are you in this class at all? You have to say something now before we continue.
I've been in the class now. Very
Okay.
attentive.
Okay, so that's good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's wait for doctor to join. I think who else again is trying to be in this class? Okay. Let me be sharing my screen. So please, is there any question thus far in this our conversation? Any question, please, from anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please ask your question.
Okay, so sir, that's your course on AI and cybersecurity. I went through it, and you said something about data poisoning. So if these tools are beginning to integrate AI for easy execution, what is the hope of integrity? What is the hope of integrity?
Okay, let me bring it home for you. I know you are a music, you are into music. So what is the hope of AI now doing music for people? And I don't know if I'm pushing the question back to you, but I just wanted to understand it. You know, we have this AI now that can it can even
Yes,
give you lyrics and even provide the
yes,
music and even do the vocals for you and everything. Do you understand?
very true.
So what's your take on that as well? So you see, it's actually a global issue. Yeah, it's a global issue that for now, will data poisoning is one of the. In fact, I'm thinking that's the most dangerous thing that can happen to mankind, because the truth is, even me, if you ask me now, AI is the in thing. That's the way forward. That's the way forward. But you see that data poisoning is is a big problem. It's a big problem, and I don't think anybody has solution to it, because the AI will always think like the way the developers think. That's just the way it is. AI will always think the way the developer is thinking. Every developer will integrate his culture into AI. Every developer will integrate his habits into AI. So there's about nothing we can do about it, because as it is now, data poisoning is one of the most dangerous. Data poisoning, then AI hallucination. They are one of the most dangerous attacks that can venture on AI. So if an AI developer decides to, you cannot take away his culture. You cannot take away a developer's culture. It must reflect on his tools. It must reflect on his tools. So you just have to look at that. There are some people who don't even believe in God. When they build AI tools, they also integrate it that God does not exist or something like that. They will integrate it, they will build it into it, and it's what will now be working for you. You are deploying AI to do a particular task, but the AI does not believe that. It does not, So there's a lot of things, a lot of issues around that. But I know that there are a lot of policies that are a lot of governance that are trying to put in place to do that. But you see, one thing with tech, especially in this part of the world, until the damage is done, we don't get to put laws in place to handle them. I don't know if you understand. Until the damage is done, you hardly see where they will come and they will say they are putting measures in place to solve the problem. So, just keep your fingers crossed. You will find a lot of things will come up that will. A lot of regulations are ongoing. People are deliberating on how to use AI. Even developers. A lot of things. But just that we just have to make do with what we have now. Please confirm you can see my screen and you can still hear me, please. Okay, good. So now let's look at a standard forensic toolkit. Now I had mentioned that there are tools that we will use in this class, a lot of tools. We will lay hands on them, but I wanted to establish the mindset of being a digital forensic examiner before having the tools. And I hope I've been able to do that in the last 1 hour, because the next 45 minutes will be for hands-on in this class, and subsequently we'll do more of hands-on as we go by. So now there are standard forensic toolkits. There's a toolkit, like if you have your toolbox that you take to site and help you to do acquisition, help you to analyze, and even to generate reports and the likes. Now, but these tools are paid. They are also very expensive. In fact, licenses for them are as much as $20,000. We deploy a particular forensic tool for a forensic lab in as prescribed by CMAS, what do they call that document again? In one institution. CMAS is this document, I think doctor will have an idea of what it is. Is this document prescribed by NCC, not NCC, NUT, on how to set up labs, especially digital forensic lab in schools that offer digital forensics. So we bought license for a particular tool over $20,000. I'm not saying that they gave us computer, they gave us server, they gave license, series of digits, over $20,000. Just series of numbers is what they give. So you see that these things can be very expensive. Recently, somebody called me and said that his phone was stolen. He wants us to track it. So I now analyze. I say, how much is the cost of phone? He says it's about $350,000. I say, good. Now, I will charge you more than that to track this phone, to do it. But I usually charge more, but I will give you another route that is possible. Now you have to go to police station, report this case to police. Then they will now link you up with their unit in Abuja that does the tracking. Then you will pay for it. And let's say the first day you go there, you drive there, you spend 10,000 naira fuel to and fro. I'm sure before the case will end, you drive like 5 to 10 times. So you have spent like 100,000 naira. Then you will pay at least worst case scenario, you pay like within 80 to 100,000 for the tracking, which may not be successful. See that you have spent like 200,000 naira. Then you will rub hands. It's normal. You have spent like 250,000. So why not save yourself the stress and time and buy another phone? Then put measures in place so that you don't lose the phone again. Now, but there are some people who will pay more, even pay more to get a phone of 10,000 naira, if there's anything like that, because of the evidence that is on it. So, but if the case is not like that, just learn to put some basic things in place that will do that. If you ask me what are those things you put in place, first, it's not part of this class, but I'm just giving you as a bonus tips. The first will amaze you. First is to format your phone every 2 weeks or every week. At most 2 weeks. What does that do for you? It makes you not to keep anything valuable on your phone. Because before you format it, you find a place to keep that thing that is valuable. Either on cloud, or you are saving it or you are getting a backup for it. So it will help you not to keep anything useful or valuable on your phone that is more than a week or so. So that's one of my first recommendations for that. So that's just by the way. So standard forensic toolkit. First, we said this toolkit must contain things that your toolkit now, your toolbox as a forensic person. Somebody is raising hand. Ask them, okay, please go ahead.
Sir, please, can you come again? You said something about what we keep on our phone. You gave a counsel.
Okay, you didn't get that. I said trying to avoid spending more because one of the questions you will ask me after this class now is like how much does it cost? Or how much do they pay a digital forensic person, or how much do you cost to investigate a particular matter? You come and ask that later. So I'm not saying that before we get to that level, somebody had approached me recently of a missing phone. I asked how much is the phone. He says about 350,000 naira. So I now said, I'm going to charge you more than that to help you track the phone. It wasn't even digital forensic. They wanted to track the device. So I now said, I'm going to charge you more than that for it. Because if I'm doing less than that phone, it's because I know you. So I advise that you buy a new phone instead of that. I have another alternative. Is for you to go to police station, report the case. They will now link you up with somebody else. They will just link you up to be able to track the phone because they have the equipment, they have the device to do that. Especially the FBI, the EFCC arm of the Nigerian police. So at a point, I now said the best way to avoid that is to, number one, I only gave one counsel, and I said is to format your phone every week or every 2 weeks. In case you come to lose your phone, you will not feel much, because before you format your phone, you would have done backup. So when you back up your phone, your phone is missing or stolen, because there's a statistic that shows that over 115 mobile devices is missing or stolen every minute. So your own is not when will your own happen now. It is when it happens. How will you? How prepared are you for it? So I advise. I don't know. I didn't read this from any book, but it has helped me over the years. Format your phone maximum at worst 2 weeks. But if you can do it every week. Before you format, you will realize that you have to check some things on the phone. I need this thing. I need this one. You back it up. Then you will now be able to format and do that. So that's what I had mentioned. That. So I hope you got that. So we're looking at a standard forensic toolkit. What should it look like? You should have acquisition tools like FTK Imager, a DD. Yes, you should have guy manager, or guy manga. They could call it guy manga before, but now it's guy manga. Then you should also have tools. There are a lot of tools for acquisition. Your toolbox should contain it. Like if you check a tool for a welder now, you will see that he has hammer, he has screwdriver, he has saw. So your own tools must contain acquisition tools. That means you should have a folder called acquisition. And when you say your digital forensics tool, you should have a folder called acquisition. Then in it, you must have FTK Imager, you must have a tool they call DD, is for Linux. You must have guy manga. Then these tools are used to copy bit by bit imaging of any of your evidence, of your artifact. Then you should have analysis tools you can use to analyze. Autopsy is good for beginner. Case is also there. Then there's X-ways. These are suits used for investigation. These are paid tools that professionals like you and I, like a UVB are using. Yes, you need to have tools like Autopsy. You need to have Encase. There's Encase Imager. You need to have X-ways. Then you need to have this. There are some scripts also that you can use. A Python script you can use. So I want to give for those that are good in using AI. I want to give you a small task. Write a Python script that can help me do basic forensic analysis of my computer. I take it again. Write a Python script that can do basic forensic analysis of my computer. Please, do you get what I just said now? I want reactions. Abdul did not get it. I say you should write a basic write a Python script that can help you perform a basic forensic analysis on your computer. You don't need to just use AI. Use any of these AI tools. They can help you. They will get those tools out for you. So that being said, So
can you please see what you said? It said write a Python
write
script.
a Python script that can help you perform a basic forensic analysis on my computer. Okay, I think Aslem has dropped it. Please drop it in the WhatsApp group also. So also another segment of your tools should have specialized tools. There's what we call Volatility, Wireshark for network analysis, Volatility is for memory analysis. Yes, so all these tools are mentioned here. Please, you will need to download them. Now, before we look at this legal thing, let's quickly look at our answer for today. Are we good? Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Okay, any contribution? If you don't have questions, you should have contribution now. No question, no contribution. Okay, I ask, please, someone should give me someone should define what digital forensics is. Somebody should define what digital forensics is from what you have gathered so far in this class. Nobody is answering me.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Micah, go ahead. Thank you.
Yes. Digital forensics is a core process of cybersecurity, or let's say the art of identifying, collecting, preserving, analyzing, and reporting or presenting digital evidence from digital devices such as computers, mobile phones, servers, and network.
Okay, that's very good. Any other person? Hello, good afternoon, ma. Alpha. Auntie, what's it? Abdul. Abdul, go ahead.
From what I understand, based on what
Thank
you
you so much.
explained, is that the digital forensics is just like a forensic science that is
You know what? Can I
used to
call you like
identify
in an hour?
and
I'm in a meeting.
prevent and
Auntie,
also
what's it?
analyze things in a legal procedure.
Okay, I think what I could pick from you, can you take that again, please?
I said digital forensics is a forensic science that is used to identify, prevent, and also analyze to present in a legal procedure.
Okay, okay, I think I got few things from there. You see the science, and it's for analysis, for preservation, and that. Okay, that's okay. Okay, so any other person, or we should just proceed to our next item on the agenda. The agenda or the item on the agenda. Okay, so Ashkal, let's look at metadata. What is metadata? Before we will, let's look at what is metadata. Please, by way of definition, metadata is the data of data. You understand? Metadata is the data about a data or the data of a data. Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you confused?
No, sir. We get you, sir.
Okay. I want like 3 other persons to also affirm that. Okay. So metadata is the data of a data. So if you have a data, that means there's data that is also of that data. that's just what it is. So if anything changes from your data, the data of the data will also will take note of that. If anything changes from your data, the data of the data will also change. We'll also take that into consideration. So now we want to see a tool that can help us. Please confirm you can see my screen, my entire screen. Please confirm you can see my entire screen now. Okay, good. So now, look at this. There's what I asked us to download Ashcal. I don't know if anyone downloaded it. It's very light.
Yes, sir.
How many people downloaded it? We are going to use it in class. How many people downloaded it? Ashcal. Nobody seems to download it. Micah, you downloaded it. Okay, Olajide also downloaded it. Please raise your hand if you downloaded this tool, Ashcal. This is what it looks like. My screen is okay. I only have 2 persons hands raised. Aslam, you did not download this tool. Abdul.
Sorry, sir. Mark did not allow us.
Okay. Abdul. Mr. Levinos.
Sorry, I explained earlier.
Okay.
I explained.
Okay. Sorry. Yes. Mike, are you using Mac too?
I'm using Windows.
Did you download it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Dr. Ma, did you download it?
No, I didn't. That was what I was doing before I had to leave the office. But I'll do that.
Okay.
From now.
It's all right. So now, there's an interesting one before this Ashcal. Let's look at photo forensics first. Photo forensics. So you just Google or you download, or what do they call it? This one is a web app. They call it photo forensics. I'm sharing the link. I'm sharing the link in WhatsApp group now. Photo forensics. Yes. So this is how it works. Photo forensics, it gives you information about a photo. That's just generally what photo forensics does. It analyzes the metadata of images and gives you details about it. So when you come to photoforensics.org, you upload the image you want to analyze. You click this. I don't think I have images, but let me just pick this screenshot. Yes. So you will upload it. I'm uploading. You see, I chose the file. I uploaded it. So it will upload. This requires internet, please. It requires internet. So be sure you can see my screen. How do I keep this guy? Please, from my feedback screen, I'm still seeing my screen. So now, let's look at this photo, this image. This is the original image. Now, if this image has been altered by anybody or photoshopped, you will see it. You will see in this part of this. You will see it. It will look like somebody used crayon to crayon something. You understand what I'm saying? Like somebody you use something to scrub something. You find it in this image, this part of the image. If anything like that was done. So this is the original image. This is what it is. So it means this image has not been altered from its original image. I'll tell you how I got this image. It was a screenshot I gathered from, and I was working on an artifact. I got this image, and this is what it is. So now, if you look at your left side, there's a pane. There are panes here. You will see things like the first one is digest. Now, it's showing us a lot of information about this particular image. If you use a phone to snap an image, or use a camera to snap an image, it will tell you the exact camera you used to snap the image. It will tell you the location. If location is turned on, it will tell you the location the image is taken. It will give you the coordinates it will give you a lot of information about it. Now, this image was screenshot by a computer. That's why you're not seeing this. I did not get I don't have any image on this particular computer to use to explain this. But you can try it on your phone. Use your phone. Snap an image. Bring it to this place. If your location is on while you're snapping that image, when you upload it to this, it will show you all the details about it. This was the date, 24th of, this was the date this file was created. This is the name. This was the date and time it was created. This is the image type. This is the size. It has 4 color channels. Those that do graphics, you will understand. I think there's a graphics person in this place. You will understand this. The unique colors on this place are about 21,000 plus. The image size, this is the image size. This is the MD5. You know, we talked about hashing. MD5, SHA-1, and SHA-256. This is what it is. This image was first analyzed here by this time. So I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying. So these things are attached to this image. So anytime you snap a picture, all these images, all this information goes with the image. That is what we call metadata. That's the data of this image. So if you find an image in somebody's drive from evidence, you can do this kind of analysis on it, and you get this information. You can get, you can get the location, the camera that was used, the location, the time the image was taken, everything about the image that is available in metadata. I need to also mention that there's a way to wipe this data. There's a way to wipe it. And also, some years ago, if you upload image on Facebook, on social media, this information also goes with it. When I download those images, I'll be able to analyze these images and see where you took the image and all those things. But I think like 3-4 years ago, I don't know, I want somebody to research that and tell me when did they stop. Mr. Levinus, this will be your personal assignment. You will report this in class tomorrow. When did social media...
Sir, your network is cracking. Yeah.
Is it true for everybody or is it just for him alone?
No, you are very clear here.
Okay, so Abu, it's from your end. So, Mr. Levinus, I need to make one findings for us. Before, if you upload pictures on, I'm using Facebook now as a case study. If you upload pictures on social media, Facebook, if I download the picture, I can see this information. But a law came into place and a policy was enacted that stopped social media people from uploading the metadata along with images on social media. So I cannot remember the year it was done, but I want you to help us find. This assignment is for everybody, but he is the one that is going to report in class tomorrow and say, oh, this was the year it was done, this is the law, this is what, and this is what is done. Just in summary, 5 minutes, he will explain that to us. I don't know if that is gotten.
Very well, sir.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So a law came into place and that stopped all this metadata from going with your images online. If you are using your computer at this point, I want you to snap a picture with your phone, make sure your location is on, and try this thing yourself and see what it is. If it's going to be, if you can get this information I'm talking about. Then there are so many other information that you can also check from this place. As you go by, you'll be able to see some other information. Then, we have talked about metadata, see the metadata of this. So in this place, you can see the location. So if anybody is able to get location, you can report it in the group that, oh, you did this and you're able to get, or you can just screenshot, what was gotten from that. So play around with this. This particular tool is a web tool. It's called photo forensics. This is how to do for photo forensics. So you can also look out for more tools that you can use for photo analysis as well. So that will help in that. Someone wants to join. Who is that? Emmanuel, you're just coming. So that's that. Mr. Emmanuel, you're just coming. This class is ending in about few minutes. Mr. Emmanuel, I hope you are fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just got from work. Sorry, sir.
Oh, okay. Though I'll share recording of what we have done so far, but we just started hands-on, and the first tools we are looking at is photo forensics. I'll just
Okay, sir.
yes, and that's what you are seeing on the screen now. We had uploaded an image. Just go to photoforensics.org if you are using your computer. Photoforensics.org. Upload an image. You'll be able to see a lot of information around the image you just uploaded. So we also made a case of social media taking down metadata. We spoke about metadata, which is data of data. So there's a data, if you snap a picture, there's a data that is attached to that picture. Data like location, the size, and a lot of things that is attached to it. So when you come to photo forensics, it will help you, it will unveil those data for you. But some years ago, the social media, if you upload image on social media, I download it, I will be able to see those data, that's the metadata. But some few years ago, social media stopped it because of, crimes were being committed through that. So the next tool I want us to check out, so is there anybody that is trying this photo forensics? Anybody trying this photo forensics? This one is not OS based now. It's just
Yes, I've tried it.
okay. So you're able to navigate your way and find this.
Yes,
Okay.
I've pasted what I got.
Oh, okay. Please make sure you don't paste PII as well. Though. Make sure you don't share personally identifiable information, even in this group. Just to be cautious.
Yes. Yes.
So if you are sharing anything, it should not be things that can, personal identifiable information. Although I'm yet to get that image. But that's okay. I'm happy that you are following. So next is, we wanted to look at this tool initially before we do this. So this is where we will do a bit of work. So you see, this particular tool is called hash calculator. It can help you to hash file. It can help you to hash text strings. It can help you to hash. You can also use it to get X value of strings. But our focus is to hash files. Now, why do you need to hash a file? Let's assume I got a particular evidence from let's say a picture or an image. I will bring it to this tool first to come and get the hash value. Let's say I'm using this image I call lab manual. Sorry. Let's say I'm using this. I don't know if you can see my screen. It's small. This elamin.jpg is an evidence I got on a particular flash. Now I will come to this place. I will upload that evidence. It's elamin. This is the image. I will open it. Now I will now calculate the hash. I will do calculate. If I want to do MD5, I will mark it. I want to do SHA-1, SHA-256, I will do it. Any one I want to do, I will mark it. I will now do calculate. Now, this is the MD5 of this. If anything happened to that image, this thing will change. I will copy this and save it in my chain of custody document. I will say the elamin.jpg, this is the MD5 as at the time, as at so time. This is the SHA-1 as at so time. This is the SHA-256 as at so time. In fact, anything that will make them believe in court that I did this, I will have to put it into it. I don't know if this is understood. Please.
So, how can you use this MD5 and SHA-1 to locate the image, master?
To locate the image?
Yes, sir.
We are not locating the image. We are only trying to hash the image. See, the image is here. We are only trying to get some metadata, some data that is on the head of the image. Metadata, when you look at the structure of a data, is from the head. That's where metadata is. The structure of a data structure, you see that metadata is on the head. So This information, if you right click this image on a normal day, you right click, you go to properties. If you go to properties,
Show more options now.
show more options, thank you. So you go to properties, you will find, like you see the name of the image, you see if you come to details now, you see the date it was created, 23rd of this, right? 23rd of this, that's when this image was created. It was modified that same day, then it was accessed that same day and that same time. Now, if anything happened to this image, it will reflect here. We are going to do that. So these are other details of that image. See the dimension, the width, the height, a lot of other information around the image, the exposure. Now, if you snap a picture with your phone or with a camera, all this information will be populated. All this information is to be populated. This was just a logo I downloaded from the internet. So you will see all this information will be provided, even as much see the lens maker, the people that manufacture the camera, the people that manufacture the serial number of the camera, everything you will find it. You will find it on it. So that is that. So let's assume I got this image from a flash. This particular picture, I got it from a flash. Now, before I do anything on it, before I take it to photo forensics and go and check, I will first of all check the properties of the image. Then take note of those information, bring it to hashcal to get this. This is the hash value. This is the value we are after. You copy the value and take it, keep it on your notes. Then, after you have gone to photo forensics, you will now come back again and be sure that the image has not been altered. Or maybe you take it to another tool elsewhere to analyze. Make sure the image was not altered. You bring it back and come and check here and say, oh, is this hash value the same? If it is not the same, then something happened to it. So meanwhile, let's do this in class. Everybody should do this. Everybody. First, create a folder. I think there are two documents I will draw for this day one. This particular document you are seeing here for the hands-on for the lab, then also the slides, I will drop them for this class. Yes, I will drop them for this class. So I will create a folder, new folder on your desktop. You can give it any name, but I'm giving it Digital Forensic Class. That's what I'm naming mine, Digital Forensic Class. This where this guy is not okay. Look at it up here. I named it Digital Forensic Class. So inside this Digital Forensic Class, I want to create a document here, so that I want to use it to monitor to see how I'm creating a text document. It can be any form of document. I'm creating a document, so I want to name it secrets. You can give it any name. Secrets.txt. That's the name of the document. Now, I want to open this document now. I want to save something inside. This is a secret document. I put a full stop. I save it. I close this secret. Right? I close it. Now I go back to my hashcal. Let me get the original hashcal, original hash for that particular. I go to this place, go to desktop, DF class. This is the file I want to get the hash value. I open it. I want to get, I'm more concerned about MD5, SHA-1, and SHA-256. You can mark all, it doesn't matter. So I click calculate. Now look at this is the hash value. I'm going to open Notepad to take note of this hash value. I'm using Notepad plus. Do I have it on this computer? Yes. So I will open. Now I will say my original file. This is a MD5. MD5 is what? I'll copy the MD5. This one here. I'll copy it and bring it here. Then SHA-256. I'll copy SHA-256. I'll bring it here. I will also copy SHA-1. SHA-1. I'll copy it. I'll save it here. Now this is the original file. Now let's assume somebody came and edited this file. Open it. Meanwhile, before this, if you also check the properties of this file, you will see the date it was created. Monday, that's today. You see the time. Sorry, I'm using a US time. So you see Monday, you see the time, everything it was created. If you go to details, you will also see some other details around it that is here. Now, ashes, you see the MD5, you realize that it's the same with what we have here. Not pass plus is we are going to. You will see that 458, you see that it's the same. This is actually the information that we just pulled out. SHA-1, SHA-256. These are, if you look at it very well, you see that it's the same thing with what Hashcal gave. That's what I'm saying. You realize that it's the same if you check. So that's that. If it has been changed before, if it has been modified, you see it. So now let's modify it and also test it. So let's open this. We open it. This is the document. So let's assume I added something to say this is an addition. I save it. If I save, I have done Ctrl S, or I come and say file, save, I save. I close this. I come back to my hash calculator. I upload the file again, secret. I calculate it. Now look at the MD5. Let's copy the MD5 and go and compare with what we have. So this is modified file. MD5. The MD5 value is this. So you will notice that the MD5 value is different from this, from the original file. If you also check the SHA-1, the SHA-256, you will realize that all of them, they are SHA-1. You realize that they are different as well. SHA-1. Copy. SHA-1. SHA-256. You will see that the values are different. So you see that the integrity of this file cannot be. You can track the integrity. You can see that, oh, this file was modified. So if you check the properties of this file now again, you will see that date created, date modified. You see, it was created 1142. It was modified 1146. These are the things that you are using, to you see date created, this date modified. You see the time varies. So access, it was also recently accessed 2 minutes ago. Do you understand? Is anybody raising hand or something?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Greatman, for the presentation.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mine is just a straightforward question.
Okay.
For the hashing, are we creating new hashes, or every document has an original hash that comes with it? This is what I mean. When, like the text you just created now, this is a secret, or this is a secret document. That particular text, does it come with its hash, or it is the hash tag? I think I've also used quick hash before. That is now creating the hash, or now rather hashing those documents. That's my question. I
Thank
don't
you.
know if you
So
got it.
I got loud and clear. Now, anything you do on the internet has a footprint. Anything you do with computer, with electronic device, anything you do has a footprint, has something to do. Then when it now comes to documents, that's what we talk about metadata. That's data of data. So as you are creating a document, there's a record of it. There's something that keeps record of it. As it's being modified, there's something that keeps record of it. So any document you create comes with its own original metadata from creation, from the person that created it. In fact, you can see the owner of the document. If you check very well the properties of this document, you see the owner, the person that created it. The date, you can find that in properties of. I'm coming to this place. So yes, every data comes with metadata. They come with their own, as they are creating it, they come to their own. So you see secret text, file location size, date created, attribute, owner. You see the owner of this data now. Even if I copy this thing and send to you, this owner will not change. The owner may change if you duplicate it. So now let's see another thing. Let's say we copy this. We have a copy of this here now. Let's see some things about this. Now you see that the name, this is secret.copy.txt. You see the owner, you see the date it was created, the date it was modified. You see the time it was created, 50 a.m. Then it was modified. So he's taking the last time it was modified before it was created. So you need to understand this now, that the last time this document was modified, he's speaking the last time it was modified before it. It carried a data from its original data. I don't know if you understand what is happening here. Do you get it? Especially this date modified is what I'm trying to explain. The date was created was something 50. So the date was created was higher. That is more recent than the date it was modified. How can you explain that? Can anybody explain that in another language? The date this data was, I'm looking at the properties of secret, copy of this secret. That's the properties I'm looking at. Now I now realize that the date it was created, you cannot modify a document before it was created now. If you have not created a thing now, can you modify it? You cannot modify anything that has not been created. So, but in this thing now, he's telling us this. Now, can anybody explain what happened? Why are we having the date it was created? That's the time, 11:46 a.m. comes before 11:50 a.m. Who can explain that? Just unmute your mic.
I think what you're trying to understand that this document has been altered.
Okay. Yes, I like that. The document has been altered, but what date? I think, see, you must be able to understand, you must be able to reconstruct your incident in a timeline. Now you are bringing this case to court now. They are not saying that, Ogbeni, this document was modified even before it was created. How can you now prove that? So, Micah, please go ahead. Unmute.
Okay. I would say this data is from if we can permit me to use this word, parent data. So
Perfect.
the date modified is from the parent data, while the date created, as in when you copied it, is the time that the date created is carrying.
Thank you
So
so
how
much.
you know that this is a copy of a document or a
Mm.
data is that the date will be more recent than the date it was modified.
Okay. Thank you so much. Do we all understand this now? With what he said now, can anybody contribute again? Okay, so I'll just take it, I'll leave it at that. So quickly now, let's now check this data now. This particular data now. you will realize that the hash value is different from. Have we checked the hash value of this? Yes, we have checked it. Am I correct? Have we checked? No, we have not. We have not.
No, we haven't.
So let's check the copy. The one we copied now. Let's check the hash value. Calculate. Now look at this very well. The copy of the data. If you compare it with this, you know it was the modified one we copied. So if you compare it with this, you will see that, is it the same? The MD5?
No.
Check very well before you answer, please. If you can't see very well. Sorry, let me zoom in case you can't see.
It's the same. That's the one we copied earlier.
Exactly. So you see what it means is not this name is checking. Is the content of it, because this content of this data is the same with the content of this secret copy. If you look at the content, they are the same. That's why the hash value is the same. Do we understand that? If you understand that, I can close this class. Do we understand? If you don't understand, I'm willing to take it again. Okay, Aslam, please go ahead.
Okay, sir, you were asking a question earlier. Sorry, I was trying to understand. If I get you right, when we copy a file to a new location, the system will assign a new date created, right, because of the time it arrived that location. So when we now see that date modified is ahead of the date the file was created, we can come to an analysis that was the date that file was copied. That new date when the thing was created can also be interpreted as the date it arrived there. That's why it's looking like the date modified. The stuff was already modified before it was created.
Okay.
So that created one, can we call it a copied file?
Yes. The date created is the date the document came alive on that computer. So, but the date modified is carrying, like Micah said, parent record. So it's carrying an old, like the last time it was modified before it was copied. So that's what that is. Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's good. That's good to hear. So summarizing today's class, we were able to know that yes, digital forensic is a process. Is not a tool. Digital forensic is not a tool. It's a process. And we said process of identifying, preserving, analyzing, and presenting. It must go in this order. It must go in this order. You must identify. You don't need to go and analyze before you now start preserving. No. It must go in this order. Then we saw some use cases of digital forensics. Then we saw some key objectives when it comes to investigation. You need to identify, determine, attribute who did what. Then you need to be able to reconstruct it in a timeline to say, oh, it was so date that this thing arrived this computer and it stayed for so time. Then it was modified to this. You must be able to do that so that it can be legally admissible in court. So we saw some specialization in digital forensics. We saw computer forensics, network forensics. We now saw some advanced area where we said memory and database and cloud forensics as well. We saw mobile forensics as well. I'm going to share these slides to us. Then we saw the process and life cycle of digital forensics. We said identification, preservation, collection, examination, analysis. Then we should be able to present whatever your finding is in an understandable manner. Then we said chain of custody. Two things chain of custody does for you is help you establish integrity and accountability. And in doing that, you must be able to chronologically document record. You must be able to chronologically document and maintain a paper-based evidence handling trail. How the evidence went through analyst 1 to analyst 2, 3, 4, and what you must be able to identify who did what, when was it done, and Where was it done? This can only be admissible in court if you achieve all this. Then we now start talking about hashing, which led us to the hands-on we did, where we talked about the 5 algorithms, SHA-251 and SHA-1. So we talked about volatility of data. Which data will you collect first? If you arrive at a crime scene, which data will you take first? So we talked about volatility of data and that. So we talked about things you should have in your forensics. Please download these tools. Download them, please. We'll use them in class. Then legal and ethical rules. We talked about it. Okay, this is where we're supposed to pick up from. But for our time now, I will just leave this and we'll begin this from tomorrow's class, where we'll look at it's just 3 slides remaining. So I think this class was productive for me. I was able to achieve all I wanted to do in this class. Please, did you gain anything? If you do, I'd like you to, just look out. I'll share this video. This class was recorded. I'll share it online. I'll share the YouTube link just shortly after this. I will also share the slides. I will share a document for practicals that you should be able to do. So, any question, any contribution, anything you are not clear about, I am willing to go through them in the next 15 minutes. Please, we may shoot out because we stayed about 15 minutes before, about 10, we said 5 minutes before we started, so I will take 10 minutes of your time as well before. So, Dr. Man, please go ahead, man.
Okay, thank you for this wonderful presentation. And yeah, just exposing a lot of things to us. And by the grace of God, I also teach cybersecurity. But when we teach cybersecurity, we make people understand that whatever information you're getting here, you have to use it ethically. This is very, very important. Now, for the for one of the tools, um, this is my own experience. Not too long ago, a family friend reached out to me. That my daughter is very sick, or that her own daughter is very sick, and that she needs money. They want to do blood transfusion, and no, not that she's very ill. So, in order to further, make me agree to what she's saying, to say, okay, yes, see the evidence. She now snapped the picture of the girl in the hospital, you know, and all that. So when she sent it to me, I say, hey, yeah, sorry about what is happening. But then something just told me this might not be true. Do you know I had to run some some checks, and I noticed that that picture was taken about almost 6 months ago, sometime around towards the end of last. Shey you see, so the woman wanted to use it to get out some money from me. That they're there now, oh, that they don't know what to do. Meanwhile, this thing happened about 6 months back. So it's also part of the thing. So as we are learning, we are also
Applying it to
learning
life.
the other way.
Yes, yes, that's true.
Yes, applying it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that contribution. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, please remind me. I will share my experience in one investigation in a filling station. Just remind me. I will share that. So, any other contribution, question? Okay, Anselm, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to thank Doku for that example. Nobody will eat my money again.
It's all right. It's all right. So, Emmy, please go ahead.
Oh, okay, sir. Maybe because I came late.
I missed you in this
or
class.
I don't know what.
Sincerely speaking, I missed you. So, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. So I want to understand, sir. The hash calculator, can we define it as a software tools that is used to identify falsified documents and text? Is that the definition we can call it, or there's another definition we can attach to this hash
Yes,
calculator, sir?
yes, yes, it's used for that, but not that alone. You can use it for, now you are looking at the negative aspect of it, you can use it for the positive. You can also use it to prove that this document has not been tampered with since I got it. Do you understand? You can use it to prove it, that this
Yes.
document has not been tampered with since I got it. Please,
Okay.
let me just
Okay.
share a new link in the WhatsApp group so that we'll quickly join and enjoy this conversation. Just 15 minutes, we will finish this class. I promise you that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
15 minutes, I'm sharing the link again. Okay, please confirm you can hear me. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
great. Okay. Good. So I think it's Micah that is not here. So, but yes, to answer Emmy's question. Now that tool is used for one. You can use it to prove that this document, or since the day, you can use it to prove your case in court, and you can also use it to investigate. What's the language? But you can use it in both ways. That's what I'm saying. You can use it to prove your case in court, to say, okay, this document, since it was created to so date, I didn't modify it. You can use it to do that. So you can check the hash cal before and hash cal after. So I can give you a document now and say work on it. Or I copy a document, I keep it somewhere. Then I want to know if somebody checked it or somebody updated it or not, or somebody changed it or not. You can do that. Another way is salary schedule. You know, if you send your salary, like those days, there's a company I worked for, they used to send salary schedule via bank. They'll mail it to the bank. Now, I can do, there's what we call man in the middle attack. I can do a man in the middle attack and change the document. But if there's an hash value of the document, I will not be, both parties will be able to know if the value has changed. Sorry, I'm trying to admit some other persons who are wanting to come in. Okay, yes. So you can use that to verify that. So what it means is, if I send you a document via mail, I will send you the hash value too in another email, not the same email. So when you get the hash value, you get the document, you get the hash, you have hash cal. You will now check it. If it's the same with what I sent to you, then you know that it has not been tampered with. Do you understand, Emmy?
100%, sir.
Okay, good. So Aslam, your answer was raised. Can you?
Okay, sir. I wanted to say that, so for any moment, anytime I'm dealing with data and I find out that the date modified is above the date it was created, I should know that that data is not 100% genuine.
Not entirely. What if you did it intentionally? Like what if it's, you cannot put this, when you put this in context, that's when you can do that. It's not that it's not genuine, it's that it's a copy of the data. That's the information you get from it. This is a copy of a particular data. It's not the original data.
Okay.
Do you understand? You can reduce that and say, oh, this document has a creation date that is a modified date that is earlier than creation date. So you can deduce from it that, oh, this is a copy that was given to me, not the original. And do you know that if we now modify this particular data now, this one now, if I say G, I added G now, I save it. We go back to check the properties. A lot of things would have changed. Do you understand? A lot of things would have changed. I'm sure, you see, now, date modified, 09, date created, this. You see it. Now, even if you check the hash values, they have changed. That one, you can check that at home. The hash values, they have changed as well. So that's what it means. So I don't know if that's okay. Can somebody remind us, I gave 2 assignments to check. Please, I want us to do that. I think I said you should study about delete. What is delete? How delete work generally. If you study it, then just do a small research about it. I also say write Python scripts to do a basic forensic analysis on your computer. I said that. Then also I gave an assignment to the entire class, but to be delivered by Mr. Levinus, how, what happened, why are we not seeing metadata of pictures on Facebook, on WhatsApp again. So we should be able to do that. So I don't know, without any further question, I owe you a slide, this video for this class, and a document for D1. Aside that, I think this class was fruitful for me, and it is for you. Please, I want to also encourage us. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, get a LinkedIn profile. Write about your study today. If you write about it, write about your study today, tag me. I will also help you share it so that it will reach a lot of persons. It's a good way to also publicize yourself. Thank you so much for joining the class. I hope you are getting value for your money. Thank you so much. So if there's no any other question, I will call the class. I will stop recording so that we can call the class a day. So that's that. If there's no any other question, but there is, I'll take it. So I want to assume there's no question, no contribution. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for all of you, and I hope you are getting value for your money.